And just watching her and some of the other top-class passengers just throwing themselves from one side to the other and gripping the holds on just a magnificent sight. It really is. It's those girls and boys really know their stuff, and of course they made their TT debut this year as well, didn't they? And we're expecting a few TT riders and runners and winners to come along to the event as we get underway. And I can see a very distinctive silver outfit and a very distinctive orange outfit heading up towards the first corner side by side by the look of it, mate.
Yeah, that was Simon Gilbert and Frank Muldoon, I think, were on the better line there, so they've taken the whole shot for this one.
No, they haven't, mate. It's Greg Lambert out in front.
Really?
Yeah, it's this Dayglow thing fooled us all, I think. Wow, it's a lot of twitchy sidecars there. But no, it's the Lambert Jevons outfit which is leading the way up the back there, because I tell you what, that little F2, it might lack some herbs at the very top end, but it's not losing out too much at all because of its sheer corner speed coming off of Charlie's there. And Greg Lambert's got that thing arced up very nicely indeed. So this is a man you can go to learn how to drive a sidecar or how to be a sidecar passenger, and he's proving that there are a few people better qualified to do that. As Simon Gilbert moves into second, Chris Wright and Paul Bailey are in fourth place. I'm not quite sure whose outfit that is in third there, but we go down into Mansfield, and yeah, there's a big old collection of bikes shuffling its way through, and as you can see, Greg Lambert is leading the way as we head up towards the tricky twisty bits, mate.
No, you're absolutely right there, but it is the Formula 2 machine, number 69, Greg Lambert leading the way then. So over the top of the mountain they go then for the first time of 5. That outfit you said there in third place is that one, all that side by side there between the 69 and the 11, but well, too wide in the hall bends on a solo machine is going to be a little bit scary. I can imagine the passengers would have had their eyes closed for that one there, going side by side on the sidecars in the hall bends, but I believe it was Lambert and Jevons who held on to the race lead there with them as they make their way out of Barn, and it is still Greg Lambert leading the way there on that number 69, the pink and yellow Formula 2 machine, ahead of the MT-09 powered machine of Simon Gilbert and Frank Muldoon then. Chris Wright, Paul Bailey there in third place, ahead of Hegarty and Ludlow. Horton and Davies up next. Then it's, is that Lee and Maxey still? No, they seem to be dropping down. Of course, they won't at the start. That would make sense. Horton and Davies ahead of Saunders and Napton. That's third in the Formula 2s for Ryan Saunders and Jack Napton. They're ahead of Hancock and Gordon, Hanks and Banks. And I believe, yep, there it is, the number 167 machine, Petman and Staveley, rounding out the 9 outfits on the circuit.
Simon Gilbert having a very good look at Greg Lambert. He's using the extra power of that MT-09 machine to pull alongside his rival, I think, at the very top end of the circuit. We'll wait and see if that manoeuvre actually comes off. And no, it hasn't actually. It's Gilbert and Muldoon still in second place. They're obviously leading the F1s, but they'd love to be leading the race overall. Wright and Bailey are ready to pick up some points there as well. And again, they know they don't need to get involved in this particular mix because their championship challenge is such that 20 points will do very nicely, particularly to Simon Gilbert, who's not involved in the championship in any way, shape or form. But obviously, Chris Wright at those bars doesn't actually know the meaning of how to roll off, so he's going to push on as hard as he can as we see the three of them there. I think we could be in for a cracking sidecar race here at the last thing at Cadwell. Had a quick look at the weather app, and I've been sent one. Thank you very much indeed, Pete. Appreciate that. And it looks as though we're going to be dry for the rest of the day. Those clouds are just over there by half a mile or so, so fingers crossed they don't change direction and come this way. It's getting a little bit dark here, but I think it should just be, it's getting a little bit later actually, Bradley.
Yeah, you're right. So what's that, 6:15 now? We're looking up towards Barn, and it's still Lambert and Jevons still holding the advantage. Last time around it's by 0.4 of a second then. So the gap between the top three last time was 1.8. This time it's 0.9, so it's been halved between the gap between the top three as they tip in towards Coppice and on towards Charlie's one then. So the fastest men on the circuit is Chris Wright and Paul Bailey. They do a 1 minute 43.749, and the two outfits in front in the 44s.
Okay, Gilbert and Muldoon tucked in tight there, trying desperately to pick up the slipstream to the guys in front of them, and no, I think Lambert had the corner speed coming off of Chris Kerr, which is enough to hold him in good stead in a straight line. So I think that Greg Lambert and Andy Jevons are going to hold that position once again, and Chris Wright, Paul Bailey said they were the fastest ones on the track. They've lost maybe a bike length or so to their rivals there, but certainly not out of contention yet. As we come down the hill, is Gilbert feeling brave. brave. Oh, he's feeling brave, I tell you what. There we go. I don't think the orange paint's going to show up so well on the pink paint. They did have a bit of a rub there, but they're side by side. And it is indeed Gilbert who manages to hold on and take the lead. I think maybe caught Greg Lambert napping there. Wasn't expecting such a bold move down the inside. Now that Simon Gilbert's in front, it'll be interesting to see his lap times. See if he can maybe extend that gap just a little bit. But I tell you what, in a straight line, that little F2 effort is not giving away much at all, is it, Bradley?
No, you're absolutely right there, and they're certainly putting that Formula 2 machine to good use. They're using its advantages and its strengths against the likes of the Formula 1 machines of Gilbert and Muldoon and Wright and Bailey, but it really is a bit of an F1 sandwich now for number 69, Greg Lambert and Andy Jevons, isn't it, as they make the way round the hairpin out of barn now. And there's Simon Gilbert and Frank Muldoon. They've pulled the pin now as they come across the line there. The gap last time was 0.3 of a second advantage to Lambert over Gilbert. This time around it's 1.5 seconds there, Keith, between Gilbert and Lambert, but half a second separates Greg Lambert from Chris Wright.
Yeah, you wonder if Chris Wright wants a bit of that 1-2 action for the F1s, so they charge their way down through Charlie's one to Simon Gilbert. He'll be delighted with this after all the problems he's had with that MT09 engine. Of course, he's been developing that, trying to get things working in that ride outfit, and finally it looks like things are paying off for him. So I wonder if this is going to be a full championship challenge next year aboard this machine. Certainly it's outstripping the MT10 engine, the triple versus the 4 engine, both the popular Yamaha machines, which is well, it's not an endurance race. Otherwise the MT10 engine will run out of petrol halfway through, because they're not the most economical of bikes, shall we say. Down into the Mansfield left-hander there, no change at all, as would be expected, and no, pretty much equidistant all the way around, actually, mate. I don't think we're going to see any great manoeuvres at all. We're going to be seeing the last lap flag very shortly, though. This is the main battle, which has obviously kept us enthralled for the entire race. There's no other great battles going on throughout the circuit at all. Gilbert and Muldoon, are they doing any purples out there, mate?
Let's have a look. Yeah, purple there in the first sector, 0.3 of a second quicker than Lambert and Jevons. Yeah. Lambert and Jevons 0.6 of a second quicker than Wright and Bailey in that opening sector. So we'll have a look certainly at the lap times when they come across the line this time around. But let's have a look. It's Simon Gilbert and Frank Muldoon out of barn and getting the power down with that MT09 machine across the line. The last lap flag is now being shown to all of these outfits then. And the gap is 1.9 seconds between Gilbert and Lambert. 1 second separates Greg Lambert from Chris Wright. Next up is Mark Hegarty on the second of the Formula 2 machines in this race. Next up is going to be the 1-2-8 of Horton and Davies as they come across the line now on their white and red machine, but it's all spread out a little bit over the previous couple of laps, hasn't it, between the 11, the 69 and the 62.
Yeah, no, absolutely. There's not too much to choose at all as we count the laps down. So just on the last lap now, Gilbert and Muldoon on that ride 1000cc outfit. It's the Wright and Bailey, and again that's another ride outfit. So if you want to some admire and some engineering, some carbon fibre work, and bear in mind it's all done in his backyard basically. It's fascinating stuff. So yeah, pop in and see the outfits next time we come here, because they won't be too pleased you pop to the paddock now and start asking questions and poking around. But next time we're here, go and have a look at the paint job on that Wright Bailey outfit as well. It's quite clever the way they've done that, isn't it, Bradley? The raindrop effects.
Yeah, you're not wrong. It's well, so this weekend I don't suppose you really need that effect, because it's been kind of one of them, hasn't it?
Yeah, you can have it in real life. Yeah.
Well, over the top of the mountain goes that battle for second place on the circuit then. Lambert and Jevons ahead of Chris Wright and Paul Bailey. Chris Wright and Paul Bailey. 69 leads to 62. And everybody across the line there. It looks as though the number 167 of Petman and Staveley are just coming out of barn now to start their final lap. But the number 11, the G-Force orange and white machine, the ride MT09, comes out of barn, gets the power down, and he's greeted by the checkered flag there. Frank Muldoon delighted with that one, as Greg Lambert and Andy Jevons come across the line then to take second overall. First of the Formula 1s for Greg Lambert, and then next up Chris Wright and Paul Bailey. And the second of the Formula 1s, third place overall.
Yeah, Frank Muldoon will be delighted with that. We mentioned before, it becomes the third generation of his family to win a medal here at Cadwell Park, and Not sure if he's the first of his family to actually win a medal here, but either way, he'll generally a very happy team. Very glad to have finished the race there. And the first people to congratulate their rivals are Greg Lambert and Andy Jevons there, and Wright and Bailey pick up the accolades of the crowd as well. Okay, all good, exciting stuff, which means that was the penultimate race.